A lot of atheists think death is the state which existed before we were born. If this is true, you were dead before you were born. So, according to atheists, life after death is possible. If it were impossible, then you could never exist. If you don't exist, then how are you watching this video? The irony is your current life after death could either be viewed as a materialistic incarnate experience, or it could be viewed as an energetic spiritual experience. Mass and energy are equivalent, which means spirituality and reincarnation are both describing the same afterlife phenomena. The question is not, is life possible after death? Because it already happened. The true question becomes, is life possible after your current life after death? Let's imagine you have Dr. Zelensky's shrinking machine and two clocks with equal mass that are synchronized with one another. Now let's say you instantaneously shrink clock B to half of its initial mass for a second, and then instantaneously blow it back up to normal. The clocks would then be out of sync with each other by 1 second. Since the surface area of clock B was half of its initial area, the second hand was half of its initial length. This would result in the velocity of the second hand on clock B being double the velocity of clock A's, causing 2 seconds to pass on clock B for every 1 second that passed on the control clock A. Now let's say you instantaneously increase the mass of clock B to the mass scale of our solar system. Although this image is static, the second hand on clock B would tick much slower than the second hand on clock A as the Earth orbits the Sun. If you were to instantaneously increase the mass of clock B to the mass scale of the Milky Way, there would once again be a great deal of time dilation between clock B and clock A. About 240 million years would pass on clock A every time the galaxy completes a revolution. Finally, let's imagine that clock B is so massive that it exists on the mass scale of intergalactic systems. At this point, the velocity of clock A's second hand would be so fast relative to the second hand on clock B that billions of years would pass on clock A within only a fraction of a second on clock B. Again, although this image is static, you would be able to perceive dynamics which would be impossible from your mass scale on Earth. Plasma cosmology predicts you would be able to perceive dynamics which would resemble microscopic plasma. To help you visualize this, you can imagine what it would look like if you were to zoom into a star's plasma from your current mass scale and study its dynamics. Unlike the Big Bang model, the plasma cosmology model is infinite, and if this model can be proven, the probability of life after death would be unlimited, since it has already happened. The only way to prove this model, however, is to predict an outcome that can be tested experimentally. According to the formalism of quantum theory, the effect of measurement between a pair of particles in an entangled state happens instantaneously. I predict, however, that there is a transference of information between the entangled particles, which has a limited velocity equivalent to the velocity of light squared. I know all you physicists out there are shaking your head in disbelief, but please allow me to explain my reasoning. If the universe does have a recursive fractal structure, then matter and energy also has a recursive fractal structure. Just as every star in a galaxy emits energy, my hypothesis is every subatomic particle emits energy as well. Recursive matter and energy could exist in an unlimited number of recursive temporal dimensions, which could explain why 96% of the universe is still missing. Dark energy could be used as an inexhaustible source of energy. It could make it possible for us to travel faster than the speed of light with wormholes. It could give us the ability to simulate space and time travel with quantum computers. It could be used to transmute chemical elements. It could explain déjà vu, intuition, and other psychic phenomena, and it may even be used to communicate with spirits and unify religion and science. Thank you for watching my video, and I hope it has opened your mind to the unlimited possibilities we have available to us in the future. Please share this video with others so we can test my prediction and confirm once and for all that life after death is possible.